the biggest problems is the fact that audiences just aren't tuning in on any kind of platform, really. We're seeing shrinking numbers. What role does politicians undermining trust in journalism and in journalists have to play in that? Like yesterday, we had the Deputy Prime Minister talking about the woke media inside the House.
Well, as I've said before, media actually have to, if there's a trust challenge with the New Zealand public from media outlets, that's a collective decision that they need to make to ask questions about why aren't they connecting, why aren't they actually being able to build sustainable business models. There are outlets that are actually working really hard at that and have got different approaches to it, different business models.
I have no doubt that they are doing that. Like as a collective, as an industry, we are doing that. But also, what do politicians need to reflect on the language that they're using? Because in the House, like I say, we have the Deputy Prime Minister, using words like the woke media. Do you need to take responsibility for something?
Well, I just say to you, the media, no politician will appreciate the media coverage that they get or the media's, appreciation or assessment of them. I get that. But media play an important role in our democracy, something that should be incredibly well valued. In the case of the Deputy Prime Minister and many other politicians around this place, they all have private and public views of what the media are.
Is it appropriate for the Minister to be calling out woke media in the House?
He's completely allowed to express his...
So the couple of things about that. The first thing is Tova misses it completely. Newshub isn't going bankrupt. Isn't cancelling. I'm pretty sure it's Tova. If it's not, I withdraw and apologise. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. This is definitely Stuff. It's on Stuff's feed. So I'm pretty sure. Now you've made me question myself in the middle of a rant. Yeah, look, it's on Stuff. Okay, maybe it's not Tova. I thought it was. Let's go back to the question. It's not got anything to do with the language of the politicians. They are not helping. Peters is not helping to foment that distrust, but $100 million has been taken out of the market to do with advertising. Is it Mikey? Why is it on Stuff then? Okay, whoever. I withdraw and apologise. Then Mikey missed that. And the other thing that Mikey missed, if it was Mikey, I'll call him Mova, because then I've got both covered, is this bit, and I'm just replaying it, the words. One of the biggest problems is the fact that audiences just aren't tuning in on any kind of platform, really. We're seeing shrinking numbers. That's false. That's not true.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we're very little, but we're a platform and we're growing. Other internet groups out there, other independent media out there are growing. So it just made me think that the questioner was also missing the thing. You could have said any mainstream, sure, shrinking, gotcha. Television audiences shrinking completely. I don't know. The only time I really watch live television free to air is when it's the cricket, or the news if I want to see what's happening on Newshub that night. But I think, I wonder, this is in my head, I wonder it's going, have they missed the mark with this? Because they're now kind of going, well, what are we supposed to do? Everyone's shrinking. It's not true. The model that the mainstream media organisations are using, that model is shrinking. They need to change their model. I always talk about my mum, when she was little, she used to talk about the Iceman. And I've told this story before. The Iceman was literally a guy who came around with a block of ice to put it in the bottom of the safe where they stored it was their fridge. And then at some stage, refrigerators started to get used. So the Iceman's job was obsolete. Look at Kodak. Kodak developing film disappeared when digital cameras came around, pretty much.
Blockbuster.
So what the mainstream, what mainstream media has not done is moved to what they need to be doing digitally. I'm not saying that like terrestrial television or those brandings are dead, but I'm saying they are going down, and obviously Newshub didn't have the equivalent coming up to regain some of that revenue. So even though the audience for the TV had gone down, other audiences had gone up. So I was intrigued by the question, right? And the question was talking about everything's shrinking. It's not true. Lots of digital things are growing. Everything mainstream might be shrinking. Actually, you know what? Radio's not shrinking, but television mainstream is. I just wanted to have a chat over that, Chewie, like we just have.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just replying to someone in the chat saying that we're a long way from journalism, so we can't replace them. Absolutely, we'll be the first people to. It'll be a cold day in hell when you say.
I love it when people try to take the piss out of you on Twitter and they go, "Nobody knows your name," and I go, "Yeah, I know."
Never claimed two dudes with some reckons.
Never claimed that anyone did.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, yeah, maybe the format, the way people are consuming their information is changing. And, the idea behind the 6 o'clock news, right, is the entire country was sitting down for dinner.
Yeah.
What a great time to have the news on. And then we tried late night news and that sort of thing. So, yeah, the ratings, which is, of course, what advertisers pay attention to for the 6 o'clock news slot, is probably tanking as people die off, or they consume their media in a different way, or they time shift it, or whatever. I know I haven't listened to free to air broadcast television for over a decade. I would have watched the debates on TVNZ's app or TV3's app, that sort of thing.
Yep.
But advertisers don't listen to that. Like, legacy media and advertisers really haven't got a handle on the digital world at all, because you can't show the same numbers as you used to be able to with legacy media. So all they see is a decline. And it's just, people still want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they still want to know the news. And in a world with so much free entertainment or free information, it makes it really hard to put a value on it. Like, some of you very good people in the chat have clearly put a value on BHN, which we're endlessly appreciative for. But by the same token, that doesn't give us enough pull to put Christopher Luxon in a chair and really turn the screws to him.
Yet.
We're no, yet.
Yet.
We'll get you, Chris. We'll get you.
Maybe with Newshub gone, we'll have more of a chance. Welcome tonight to all those Newshub viewers, by the way.
But yeah, it's stuff like that, and I think for the government to be so glib and go, well, they're a private business, that it's a business decision, that sort of thing. I think that channel is just going to be flooded with reality bullshit and entertainment, or advertising disguised as entertainment.
Infotainment.
Yeah, and we're not going to get the information part of that.
Yeah.
And the people that have the skills, that have been doing that job, where are they going to go? Are they going to go overseas? Are they, there's not enough to absorb that many people in that industry looking for jobs at the moment.
Yeah.
Big hearing Newshub.
It sounds like someone's got a swollen testicle. Oh, my big hearing Newshub.